on how you can gauge your own progress. And we want you to gauge your own progress so you can utilize neuroplasticity to help your own cause and to help you move forward, creating that positive feedback loop of the upward spiral for positive change and breaking and get rid of that downward spiral that you probably have been experiencing. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We are going to do that in a game. So you'll notice that our BrainShift program uses a platform that is gamified. Why is it gamified? Because it works. Neuroscience shows that gamification of apps like this totally helps all people of each gender and all ages to engage with the app and get some feedback that is meaningful for you. So you're going to get points, you're going to see your streaks. That is going to help you become motivated and inspired to want to get on again and beat your old scores. That's how it works. Even if you're my age and you had to go to the arcade, if you don't know what that is, young people, look it up. That's where we used to have to play video games, and we'd have to go in and play Pac-Man, right? And we would get points and we would be motivated to get the top score. I know I kept going back to get the top score. That is what we are talking about. Gamification works. Okay, so what you're going to see on your screen is your zone screen. It's going to show you when you're not in the zone, when your brain is neutral, when you're in the zone, and when you're in the deep zone. We don't want your brain to be neutral, this small little percentage over here. We want you to be in the zone, and especially in the deep zone, for longer and longer. And it's also going to show you your zone streak. It's going to show you your average and then your maximum. And we're going to look at that. But just know that you're trying to get up here into the zone more and more, either the zone or the deep zone. And I think a really cool thing too is that even if you come down here to neutral and you get back to the deep zone, these are like push-ups for the brain. It's like the peaks that we saw in the training. When I see the peaks on my trend screens that I just showed you, you're seeing the peaks on your zone screen. They will go hand in hand. When you're in the deep zone, your brain is doing what I want to see it doing on my screen. You're seeing it as deep zone. When you're almost there and you're hitting some of the thresholds and not all of them, then you're here in the zone. When you're nowhere near the zone, you're down here in neutral. So exercising your brain, especially at the beginning of your program, and being able to go from neutral to zone to deep zone, and then maybe holding these deep zone streaks longer, that's how you know you're getting better. So on your zone screen, you want as many peaks up here in the deep zone and the zone, and as many recoveries from neutral into the zone. So here you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 peaks into the deep zone. We have a lot of little ones here in the zone on the way up to the deep zone, so that's great. And we have longer time frames here between the zone. See this zone to the deep zone? That's a long streak. This is going to be a streak for you. That's how you know you're doing what you need to do. You want to be out of neutral and up into the deep zone as much as possible. Okay, so here's an individual session analysis, and you can see I was on for 16 minutes and I acquired 178 points. So you can look across on your screen. When you're looking at the screen that tells you about your sessions, you can look across it and see which sessions you had the most points. And yes, I would love to tell you that every single session you should have more total points. That's not always how it works. And we've already talked about in some of the videos, our brains just have better and worse days. It could be the time of training in the day. And I've worked with lots of people. One woman in particular, she knew if she trained at 2 o'clock before her kids came home, that was a great time for her to train. If she tried to train at 9 a.m. in the morning, that was not the optimal time. So she set into the habit of training at 2 o'clock. And that's a perfect way to build this habit into your life for over time. So, if your points aren't always going up, don't fret about it, but do try to think about what might be creating better points for you. Is it time of day? Is it just a feeling or a state that you have? If there's something you can figure out to try to replicate it and do it over and over, go for it. But don't sweat it if on Monday you have more points and Tuesday you have less. That is par for the course, especially in the lives that we lead. But you are striving for more and more points over time. You're also striving to train more, like we've talked about. So at the beginning of your program, you want to train 3 or 4 times a day. We have everybody's protocols are set for 12 minutes. So we'd love for you to be able to do double sessions, working up to 24 minutes. But in this case, this is one whole three rounds of 4 minutes plus one more 4-minute round. That's 16 minutes. You can build up or scaffold to that 24 minutes by doing 16 minutes and then building up. So here you will see that there's 2% neutral, 22% zone, 9% deep zone. So, that's okay. 2% neutral. The rest of the time in the zone, that's great. Average streak is 5 seconds, and the longest being held is 10 seconds. So the longer you can hold it to means that your brain is getting stronger because it's able to hold the regulated pattern for a longer time frame. And again, you're going to have better and worse days here too, but you're striving to beat your average and to beat your maximum streak. That is the goal. In the same amount of time, beat your average and beat your maximum streak, because it means your brain's getting stronger. Okay, so points across time. So you can see here what I'm talking about. On December 30th, we have low points. When we up here on February 1st, then we have lots of points. This is a totally awesome session. Here we have 2 pretty good sessions. Then we have a rough one. Then we have a better one and a better one. So yes, we'd love to see this trajectory over time, having more and more points, but it doesn't always work that way. Every time you get on a session, it's good for your brain. So yes, we'd love you to get more points, but if you are not getting more points, keep doing it anyways, because it's in the practice, your brain will get stronger and stronger over time. And I've worked with so many people whose graphs have looked like this, and then they hit a tipping point, and then they are able to create that trajectory. So more points is better, but keep doing it. Time in is what really counts the most in neurofeedback training. This is a graph that you will see of your zone performance over time. So you can see here that in the past 7 sessions, and we're looking at the same charts here, is that we have zone. This is deep zone, sorry. These are deep zones, and then this is zone performance. And you can see how we have some days that have more deep zone. This is just a really awesome day. Other days have more zone, less deep zone. Keep working it. Keep trying to do it, because time in will produce, even though this is on a downward trend, we still have successes in here. So just put the sessions in, because that's what matters the most. And your streaks are going to be measured in a similar manner. And like we talked about, a streak means that if you have a maximum streak like here of an 80-second streak of holding that regulated pattern for 80 seconds. And I got to tell you, these are my graphs, and I wish I could tell you this was me. It's not. This is my husband who did this using my account. 80 seconds. It's totally remarkable. And here you can see where, typically 30 seconds would be a long streak, average of 15. These are some nice sessions here, but this is a monster of an awesome session. So try to know that the longer you can hold it will be your maximum streak. And you're gonna have better and worse days. That's okay. On a really rough day, like here on December 30th, we were in Mexico. So the fact that I even did a session is completely remarkable, right? While I'm on vacation, I brought my headband. I only did it one time. But so obviously E for effort, because I'm on vacation and I'm managing 1 million people on vacation, but at least I got on, and I had a 1 second maximum streak and a 1 second average streak, but I did it. I was doing it on vacation. That's okay. And that's episodic dysregulation is what I call it. If we have lower than typical, and you can see my typicals here, lower than typical, it means something's up in my world. And it definitely was that day, plus the holidays, right? Am I right or am I right? And then you can see this awesome session is when you're just really, really, really in the zone. Okay, longer averages, longer maximums means you're holding the pattern that we want you to. Okay, join me in the last video on strategies for success so you can rock out your brain shift program so you can feel and perform better for the rest of your life. I'll see you in the last video.